Imagine being born into a world you never chose, a world of constant labor, relentless warfare, and unwavering devotion to a cause greater than yourself. A world where you have no name, no individual identity, and only a predetermined role to play. This is the story of an ant, a story repeated trillions of times across the planet during different eras and within varying habitats. A story of sacrifice and struggle. Your life begins not with a birth cry, but with a silent hatching in darkness. You emerge as a tiny, grub-like larva, blind, helpless, and immobile on your own, completely dependent on your older sisters, the worker ants, for survival. They feed you a carefully regulated diet, clean you meticulously, and move you to different chambers within the nest, maintaining the perfect temperature and humidity for your development. You know nothing of the world outside the dark earthen tunnels. Occasionally, you might sense your sister larvae munching on each other from extreme hunger, or you might even be the one munching yourself. Many people think ants are all the same, simply tiny, insignificant insects. But there are over 12,000 known species of ants, each with its unique adaptations and behaviors. From the tiny thief ants that steal food from other colonies, to the giant bulldog ants of Australia with their powerful stings, and even weaver ants that squeeze their larvae to weave nests. The diversity is astonishing. But said diversity doesn't stop there. It also contributes to the kind of horrors the ant might have to live through. If you're an odorous house ant, you'll witness your fellow workers explode into an icky, putrid mess of acids as a form of colony defense, deterring potential predators, or you might even get raided by other species that steal your baby sisters and brainwash them into doing chores once they reach their adult stage, while you watch helplessly, unable to save them from what is about to unfold. From their point of view, they're doing chores for their own colony and have absolutely no idea that they've been abducted as brood, almost reminiscing similar cases in the human world. And you might even be a thaumatomyrmex worker, knowing your colony will never surpass 20 workers, and that is beside only having the ability to eat one single food every time. Polyxenid beetles. You don't get to choose your path like in your favorite RPG game. Instead, it's decided for you long before you hatch, maybe even before you were conceived as an egg. Genetics and environmental factors within the nest determine your caste. You are destined to be a worker, a soldier, or, in rare cases, a queen or a drone. There is no room for ambition, no chance for a different life. Your fate is sealed permanently, and procrastinating or laziness are never an option. You emerge from your pupal stage as a young, frail worker, ready to begin your life full of service to the hive mind. Your first tasks are within days or even hours of hatching inside the nest, cleaning, tending to the queen and the brood, and excavating new tunnels. Imagine navigating a vast, underground city in complete darkness, relying solely on the chemical signals left by your sisters. These pheromone trails are your roadmap, guiding you to food sources, nesting chambers, and even alerting you to danger. You spend your days toiling tirelessly, driven by an innate instinct to serve the colony. You forage for food, often venturing far from the nest, braving the dangers of the outside world. Consider the leafcutter ant. These tiny farmers carry leaf fragments many times their own weight back to their nest, where they cultivate a special fungus that they use as their only edible food source, all while risking having parasitoid insects like wasps or flies lay their eggs inside them. In case those parasitoids do succeed, their eggs will hatch and eat the insides of the ant slowly, killing it in a painful death, later to burst out and restart the life cycle. You never experience true rest. Your life is a constant cycle of labor, driven by the needs of the superorganism you are part of. You are a cog in a vast machine, with no individual desires or aspirations. Even when you're idling in the nest, you're probably a replete, bearing the burden of the nectar in your stretched stomach. Or maybe you're holding some brood on high alert for quick evacuation at a moment's glance if the circumstances call for it. Many people think ants are weak and harmless, but the reality is far different. Ant colonies are constantly engaged in territorial disputes and resource conflicts with other neighboring colonies, or other animals entirely. You and your sisters are always prepared for war. The battles are brutal and unforgiving. You might even lose a limb or two, after which you may be dragged back to the nest by your sisters to do more house chores for the rest of your life, or end up dying in this hostile environment. You fight with every ounce of strength you possess, biting, stinging, and spraying formic acid, a potent chemical weapon. You witness the deaths of your sisters, their bodies torn apart by enemy mandibles. The battlefield is a chaotic scene of violence and death. The air is thick with the smell of pheromones and the stench of formic acid. You fight not for personal glory, but rather for the survival of your colony, for the continuation of its genes, which aren't even of your direct descent to begin with. You are a soldier in a war you did not choose, fighting for a cause you understand but don't materialistically benefit from in any way. But the dangers don't only come from rival colonies. The world is full of insidious threats. Imagine being infected by a parasitic fungus that takes control of your mind, similar to that in the movie The Last of Us, forcing you to climb to a high point involuntarily and clamp down with your mandibles onto a tree or other object with maximum force, only to have the fungus erupt from your head, spreading its spores to infect more of your sisters. This is the horrifying reality for ants infected by cordyceps mushrooms and other mind-controlling parasites. Predators lurk everywhere, waiting for an opportunity to snatch a stray worker. Spiders with their deadly venom trap you in their web. Anteaters with their long, sticky tongues can devour entire columns of foraging ants in seconds. You live in constant fear, always vigilant for the next threat, always in stance to defend your colony. Your life is short, measured in weeks and months rather than years. You work tirelessly until your body can no longer endure. You become slower, weaker, and eventually you succumb to exhaustion or injury. Your body is carried away by your sisters to a trash pile or graveyard, and you get replaced by the next generation of workers with no mourning or remorse over your death by any of your nestmates. You leave no offspring, no personal legacy in the human sense. Your contribution is to the colony, to the superorganism that you are a part of. Your life, though short and filled with hardship, played a vital role in the survival of your species. But even in death, contribute. Your body is recycled, its nutrients return to the colony, fueling the next generation. Though your individual life may seem insignificant, you are a part of something much larger, a complex and fascinating society that has thrived for millions of years. Ants play a crucial role in ecosystems around the world, from aerating soil to dispersing seeds, controlling insect populations, as well as many other critical contributions towards the natural world. The story of this ant is just one of countless others, repeated across billions of colonies around the world. It's a story of struggle, sacrifice, and unwavering devotion. It's a reminder that even the smallest creatures have complex lives and play an important role in the delicate balance of nature. Sometimes, the smallest creatures can teach us the biggest lessons. What did you find the most surprising about the life of an ant? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more fascinating animal stories. I also recommend you check out my channel if you want to see more ant videos, including a mini documentary of my Formica sanguinea or Violet's odontomachus colony.